Garnacho to be banned by the FA. You are going to get to know why it is like this, why the FA wants to obviously ban him, and the latest Jadon Sancho hint coming in through from the team of Man United. And Harry Maguire has gone ahead and obviously spoken out with a lot of strength, and obviously we are here waiting for you to see to it that you even get us what your thoughts are about this. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David remains my name, and hope you guys are really having a fantastic stay onto this beautiful channel of yours. So how many likes? 100 likes on this video to see to it that it obviously rocks the chart or the trends on YouTube. And secondly, I really call upon you guys to obviously come in through and obviously join our WhatsApp group such that you guys get to know exactly what we are always about on this channel that obviously takes us forward. So the conversation always continues from YouTube to our WhatsApp group, and you can as well do that by going to the description box below. There is a link that sends you direct into our WhatsApp group, and we'll continue to obviously come in through and really see what your thoughts are about us. Now today we have a story coming in from Terrell Marshall. It was first reported by the Metro in the morning, and they're telling us that Alejandro Garnacho could face disciplinary action over a social media post in which he used gorilla emojis over a picture of Onana's penalty save. Garnacho deleted the post once advised of the potential racial connotations involved, but the FA is aware of it and could yet charge him with a breach of guidelines around racially sensitive social media posts. Now, I really believe in respecting rights for people, but when a teammate like Garnacho goes ahead and puts out a post like this, let me even flash it onto your screen and you guys see it. When he puts out a post like this on his X, the other one is his teammate, and he knows what this really means. And obviously I find it insane for the FA to come in through and obviously charge, because you can't do this if at all your counterpart doesn't know about it. Looks like they know about it, but it was really worrying for me to see to it that this is going to lead Alejandro Garnacho into a mess. A ban of like 3 to 4 games might be pipelined by the FA because of this post he put up on his Twitter account, so on his X account with gorilla emojis, right? So the FA is obviously taking deep charge into this, and obviously they are trying to see to it that they really get what they really need to get to know, and then a fair resolution will be found. And Tron Marshall of the Man United Evening News told us that the FA have now been in touch with Man United to get Alejandro Garnacho's observations over his social media post from Tuesday. Now, the investigations are on, and they're investigating into Garnacho on why he went ahead to put out such a post. So this is really one of the most intimidating things that is wanting to pile itself on the many things that Erik ten Hag has been facing at the club of Man United. First and foremost, it was Anthony, then Jadon Sancho, then the injuries, then the takeover, and now as you're trying to stabilize to coming through, Garnacho is really doing this, and it might see him really get out and not playing most of the games, like 2-3 games, because the verdict of the FA is not known. And some of the games that we are really that we might miss him on, the game against what's the team? The game against Man City. I think the verdict is going to be so early to come in through, so we might see it come through towards the game of Newcastle next week. There is Fulham. We have to play Newcastle. We have to play Copenhagen and Luton Town. So Garnacho might be really out of those games if at all the FA thinks otherwise. But as the FA was willing and really trying to obviously make investigations, Onana came out and really cleared the air. And this is what he had to say as Onana via his Instagram account. He said, "People cannot choose what I should be offended by. I know exactly what Alejandro Garnacho meant. Power and strength. This matter should not go. This matter should go no further." That's what he came out and obviously put out via his Instagram. And he's exonerating Garnacho from what he put out. And with this post, it obviously shows you what Garnacho put out is something good for Onana. That is it. So Onana is not offended by this and is telling the FA, please, you cannot choose what I should be offended by. So don't come out and really put out such statements, you know. But everyone will ask, if at all it's okay with him, then why did this man Garnacho delete? Sorry about that. Then why did Garnacho delete that post? I think the answer was they had misunderstood Alejandro Garnacho. That's why he took that post down, because people had gone ahead to misunderstand him. That is it. But the rest is really okay and good, and you wait to see how things are going to pan out for the side of Garnacho and the FA, because the FA is trying to do investigations, and Onana has gone ahead to obviously exonerate Garnacho. That you shouldn't judge what I'm offended by. It's not in your what's the name? I've forgotten the word to use. It's not in your due allegiance, right? It's not in your due allegiance to obviously come out and decide what is going to hate to offend me or not. So I think that has been a clear move statement put out by Onana, and it shows you how connected that dressing room is. You know, every day that passes by, we are just going to get news about how Erik ten Hag is having a right grip of this midfield. Of that dressing room of Man United. And leaving that, there is another story that shows you how Ten Hag has a lot of control at the club of Man United. Laurie Whitwell, United correspondent for The Athletic, has told us that Jadon Sancho is not allowed in Manchester United's senior facilities and therefore parks his car near the academy building and gets ready there. While changing into training gear, he has to lock himself inside the academy dressing room, ensuring he does not inadvertently mix with any underage players. Jadon Sancho is prohibited from using the Man United first team canteen. Instead, his food is brought to him in a lunch box across the walkway at Carrington. Now, obviously, for me, I support Erik ten Hag 100%, because if he doesn't take through Jadon Sancho then every player will find it easy to obviously do exactly what he went ahead to do. That is it. When you look at Sancho, obviously, I told you, by the time he put out that post on his X and pinned it there for 8 days, he had already made up his mind that, obviously, I'm gonna leave the club of Man United. And he knows this is 26th October. November, December is not far off. Those are 2 months for him to obviously find himself a club. So the United team has gone ahead to obviously make it hard and put in or untightened the nuts. You know, they are screwing the nuts to fasten them to it that he doesn't even come close to obviously the players of the senior team of Man United. It's very painful that a player like Jadon Sancho is going through this, but he's the orchestrator of all this. And however much, I really believe that favoritism is there as far as Antony is concerned, because Antony is going to hate to play 70% of his games at Man United imperfectly, and he is not that one player that you could really play ahead of Jadon Sancho. But Ten Hag told us that Sancho wants to play as a left attack midfielder. The left attack side of the midfield, Rashford and Garnacho are performing better than him, and on the right is the only position where Sancho could come up and really put up competition. So Sancho needs to obviously rectify himself and really put himself in a better position to obviously understand what he needs to do at this club of Man United. If not, he might lose out himself like that. So We really understand that discipline is really important at the club of Man United. If the indiscipline really raises, then we need a manager to really tame these players and trim off the wings. Look at Harry Maguire. I think he has been in a worse situation than Sancho, because ever since Ten Hag has gone ahead to come through, Maguire has played less games than Sancho. Sancho has played very many games under Eric Ten Hag. You get? And Harry Maguire kept himself calm, and you see to it that he's finally getting back into the starting 11 of Manchester United. And you will much know that Harry Maguire was the one who championed the trio of United players, that is him, Rashford and Luke Shaw, to run to Sancho and tell him, please, end this matter, apologize to the manager, come back and we play the game of football. His fellow Englishmen, and Sancho told them, I'm not looking back. I'm not looking back. So we wait and see how this is going to pan out. But Jadon Sancho is really one of those players that is really into that shit. And I think it's one of those shits that's going to end at the beginning of the January transfer window. And I want him to obviously get a team where he's going to go on loan before even January kicks in, because 1st January I want to see Jadon Sancho out of Man United, because he has gone ahead to make a choice, and Eric Ten Hag has run short of him of patience to really he has run short of patience for Jadon Sancho's apology. And I believe if it comes in now, I don't know whether he'll accept it, because he'll obviously know that I'm having Amad Diallo coming in the mix, who can play as a right attack midfielder, and Sancho won't really have anywhere to play in his team. Look at Donny van de Beek. Donny van de Beek would have been the most annoyed player at Man United, because this manager knows him and he knows his potential, but he is nowhere near the first team of Man United, as in starting. Sometimes he doesn't even make the bench. That obviously shows you how ugly it's getting for the player. But has he ever come out and obviously done what Sancho's gonna hate to do? And for me, Sancho doing what he did was bad. But what made it worse was Jadon Sancho coming out and saying, I'm not going to apologize. That's what makes it worse. So that is it from Jadon Sancho. And obviously, let's summarize it up with what Harry Maguire had to say ahead of the game of Man City. He said, obviously, there has been a bit of negativity over the past year, but I've also had tremendous support. The negative reviews are the loudest and the ones people notice. But I've had a lot of support, and I really thank people for that. So, by the way, you really understand what he's going in through, but he's paid 200,000 grand to go through that. If you least perform, then what do you expect obviously coming through, from the fans? Obviously, they are going to come out and obviously troll you. That is it. So, if you continue to do better and better and better, you'll become the fan favorites. When he played against Sheffield and played well, the fans were singing his name, right? When he scored against, what's the team's name? Against Copenhagen, fans screamed his name. And the moment he goes ahead to do what he used to do for fans to dislike him, obviously, Harry Maguire will find himself in a situation of being hated by the fans, and boos will be launched towards the player. So, let no one lie to you about Harry Maguire. It's obviously his own making. If he plays well, he gets the praises and the hails from the fans. If he doesn't, obviously, it's gonna be a vice versa thing. So, your thoughts on to Garnacho to be banned by the FA. What do you make about it? What do you think about Andrew Onana coming in to obviously exonerate him? Do you think the FA will consider Andrew Onana's words and obviously exonerate the player? Then, what are your thoughts about Jadon Sancho and the strict rules that have gone ahead to obviously tighten the screws at the under-18s where he trains from? And lastly, Harry Maguire. I'm worried Ten Hag might be really persuaded to start him in the Man City derby, in the Manchester derby. I feel very nervous. I'm trembling because of that. What do you make about it? May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. I'm out.